This video is for the Advanced Radial Balance Challenge. So if you're doing the Advanced Challenge, you need the smaller triangle, which I have for you. So just make sure you're using the smaller triangle and not the larger triangle. And the activity is very, very similar. So you're going to start by drawing your word on your triangle. And you want to make sure that you touch as many edges as physically possible. Now, it doesn't matter how you're drawing your bubble letters. They do have to be bubble or block letters, but they can be graffiti style, they can be sort of cursive, they can be whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and use the word Buffy, which is my favorite television show from when I was your age. And I'm just going to go ahead and make it kind of wonky looking. But I want to make sure that as much as possible, my letters are touching the edges. So there's my wonky B. There's my U. And my F is going to go into the corner here. So I'm just going to have it continue off into the corner. So again, I'm doing these sort of really wonky letters. If you want yours to be neater or even wonkier, you can totally do that. It's really up to you. And then the Y. So as you can see, I've touched almost every edge for each of my wonky letters. If you want to, you could also have like a shape or some sort of design, a heart, anything you want could be in any of the corners or around the image as well. Okay, so I've done my first part. Next thing I need to do is I need to outline what I've done here in Sharpie. Now, I'm just going to put a piece of paper underneath it so I don't get Sharpie on my lovely dining room table. And I'm just going to go over it in Sharpie. Okay, so I've now done my Sharpie. What I need to do now is I need to flip it over, and I can very clearly see through the Sharpie on the other side, and I'm just going to go ahead and trace that Sharpie backwards. All right, so I'm now all done with my tracing on both sides. Now I'm ready for my square piece of paper. It's the same size as everybody else's, even if you're doing the non-advanced version. So what you need to do when you get your piece of paper, you can see I've already started it here. I folded it in half once. You're going to do the same thing. Doesn't matter which corner you start from, but you're taking one corner to another corner, folding it in half. It's okay if it's not perfect. And then you want to press down on that edge there. And then you're going to do the exact same thing again. You're going to go from one corner to the other corner. So that's 2 folds so far. I need to create one more fold. So if you were doing the regular non-advanced way of the Radial Balance Challenge, this would be where you would stop. But we need one more fold. So I've now folded it over 3 times. Okay, let's unfold that. And what you'll notice is that we now have 8 triangular sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what you'll also notice is that they are the exact same size as your little triangle that you drew your word on. So now is time for the magic. So I'm going to grab a little piece of tape, and I'm using the tape just simply so that my triangle doesn't move while I'm tracing it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape it down in one of my triangular sections. Doesn't matter which one. All right, now I've got it there ready for me. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my name is on my work. And I'm doing it on the same side that I've taped down my triangle. And you'll see why, because this is actually the back. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to be now on the front. And it might be difficult for you to see from the camera because my table is dark. Here, let's put this underneath it. That might make it a little clearer. And so if you're experiencing the same thing, maybe try putting your sketchbook underneath it. That might brighten it up a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is in my pencil, I'm going to trace my triangle. Now what you can tell right now is that I'm tracing it backwards, which is totally fine. In each section that I move to, I'm going to be flipping it over. So in one section, it will be the correct way, and in the next section, it will be backwards. And that's totally fine. So this is why we taped it down, so that it doesn't move while we're tracing. You can see I'm doing a quick job with my tracing. You guys could take a little bit more time to make sure that it's nice and neat. All right, so here's my first tracing, and my first section is now done. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to flip this back over to the back side. I'm going to remove my piece, and I'm going to remove the tape from my piece. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip it over. Flipping it over like so. So again, it was here, taped down, removed the piece, removed the tape, and just flip it over. And then I'm going to tape that piece down. Again, it doesn't matter which side, where I put the tape, as long as I'm just taping it somewhere. And what you'll notice as you now start to trace this new section is that the letters will touch. So here are the two B's, and they are touching. The U's are touching. So at this point, I don't even have to do the tops of the U's, because the tops of the other U is already there for me. Same thing you're going to notice with the F. So this top edge of the F is the same line as this one. So I don't even have to put that in there. They can just kind of be conjoined. All right, so there's my tracing in my second section. You can see already it's starting to look pretty cool. I need to continue along, so I'm going to flip it over. Let's watch this one more time. I'm going to remove the piece, remove the tape, flip it over, tape it down. Now you'll notice that the bottoms of the B's, or the bottoms of all the letters, in fact, in this section are going to touch the bottoms of the letters in the next section, the previous one that I just did. So if you feel like you've understood how to do this, you can go ahead and stop watching this video and just continue doing your tracing. But you're going to want to come back and watch the second half of the video to learn a little bit about how you're going to go about shading it. For the rest of you, I am going to put this video on time lapse now, so you can watch me finish this up without having to listen to